Congratulations, Coach McClendon.
Thank you.
1-0 as a head coach.
That's right.
Opening statements.
Well, I'll say this. Just like I told the team, the very first time I had a meeting with them, I told them, I said, well, it's going to be a lot of stuff written about me. It's going to be a lot of stuff written about kind of who stays and who's left and who's coming in, quite frankly. But not, in my opinion, not enough written on the individuals that makes this team up, and because that's what's made it special. These guys have done a job that's, in my opinion, second to none, in regard of just being able to block out so much stuff and really realize exactly what football is for. To be honest with you, I think football was made for made for men to understand that they need to work hard for each other and put other individuals over themselves, and that's what these guys did. And so opposed to the light guy in this room, I think understands the importance of every day. But I couldn't be more proud of these guys. I really can't. I'm proud of these guys, and obviously after that I'll kind of open up for questions.
Questions?
Coach, can you talk about, I know you've been focused this whole time, what this has been like for you personally? What are you feeling now, knowing that you played at Georgia,
Sure.
have coached all the way through at Georgia, and now we'll be moving on?
Sure. I'll say this, that it definitely is bittersweet. You build, and this business is about people and relationships. That's what it's made up of. You build relationships with so many people. I mean, I've spent more time with Terry Godwin than I have my own kids, really, throughout the season. And that's not God's honest truth, And so, I mean, you pour so much into these kids' lives, and that's ultimately what makes decisions hard when it gets to the business side of it. But so that's kind of why I've been able to. That's why it's been very easy for me to be able to keep that part away from it and just focus on guys like Terry and the guys, the other guys that make up this team. And so, but it's good. The bottom line is this, just like I tell these players, the University of Georgia has been playing football a long before Bryan McClendon or Terry Godwin or whoever it may be. And it's more than likely going to keep on way after I'm dead and gone. So it's a lot bigger than me, and we've been able to keep it about the G and about these guys.
Right here in front.
Bryan, I'm just wondering, what did you learn about yourself today? You had a lot of decisions to make.
Sure.
Being in that head coach's chair, did it make you want it that much worse? You said before it's something you want to do.
Definitely down the road. I think everybody gets into this business saying that what goals and aspirations of being a head coach. I definitely think it's good. It makes you appreciate, and I've said this all along, it makes you appreciate head coaches. But more so than that, it makes you appreciate the people that you have to have around you. And everybody's got to be able to sink everything into these young men, just like we were able to do, and keep the focus there. So, but definitely to answer your question.
Bryan,
Back here. Back here.
Terry, how satisfying was it to throw that touchdown pass and Coach McClendon was the pass game coordinator? Why was it a touchdown? That's really great.
I mean, it was pretty exciting to come out there and throw my first college touchdown. And, I mean, we've been working on that play all week and before we got here and this week. It just felt good to know he had trust in me to call it.
Well, they told me he was going to call it, okay? And then, if you would have saw how he threw it this past Thursday, then you would have, really been scolding me while we said call it. But no, I mean, it was something that we knew Terry could at and that we could execute. We felt good that it was there. I mean, we lined up actually in a formation earlier that game. Actually, the first time that Terry touched the ball was in that formation when we ran the quarterback sweep with him. Just to kind of see if it was there, and everybody said that they swore up and down it was there, and I didn't look because I was looking at the blocking. And so, but again, that just goes why you have to trust the people that's around you, and they said it was there, so I was like, all right, well, as long as it looks there, we're gonna call it.
Bryan, this is sort of a practice. Why'd you go for it on fourth down?
Well, our kicker got hurt. Our place kicker got hurt, and we went for it a little bit. We had tried the field goal around that same yardage a little bit earlier, and we missed it, quite frankly. And I knew it was going to be it was a very pivotal time in the game. And I knew if we had gotten the first down and, we had ran a play, that play before, and if we knew if we had gotten the first down, then, without anything crazy happening, then the game would be over. They didn't have any way to stop the clock. So we would have been able to kind of kill the rest of the time. And, they out-executed better than we did, quite frankly, on that play. And so, it was just one of those things that you had to do. And if Marshall was there, we probably would have kicked the ball. We probably would have kicked the field goal. Probably I'll say we would have kicked the field goal. But, he wasn't. So we had kind of been moving the ball pretty good earlier, running the football. So, that's why I decided to go for it.
It was all about him and the seniors to come in here and get their 40th win and to let him leave on a high note.
Terry, what kind of job have the coaches that have stuck around, and how have they done to keep everything moving forward for this game?
They've done a great job. At practice, all the guys were out there having fun, flying around, going to the ball, and it showed up in the game. The coaches, they believe in all of us, so they give us the opportunity to go out there and make plays.
Coach, first team to hold Carl in the seat without a sack this year. Matter of fact, I think at a certain point early in the fourth quarter, he had not even had a half a tackle. How much did that mean to what you were able to do offensively?
Huge. He's such a disruptive guy. Their defensive front it really is effective and good. I think anytime that you have a great player, you would not be very smart to just disregard him. Just like any other great player that I think you go up against, you got to make sure that the game plan curtails, ways to kind of shake them up or take them out of the game, so to speak. So, like I said, it just goes in with everything else. The guys here just doing a great job of game planning, understanding kind of where he was going to be, tendencies that he may have had, and doing a good job of game planning around those.
And John said there were there were some chips and everything, but you really didn't do any double teaming.
No, we really didn't. We really didn't. And a lot of those, a lot of great pass rushers, they anticipate snap counts and stuff well. So just as far as mixing up snap counts, where he's kind of second guessing himself and not getting off as fast, and or mixing up different looks to where all right, having a guy line up over there where he thinks he's going to get a chip, so now he rushes a little bit different. So just understanding things like that, I think, is what helped too.
Bryan, logistically, what's your plan? How quick do you get to Columbia and change clothes?
Sure. Well, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick. I'll say this: I'm gonna enjoy this tonight. I am. I'm gonna enjoy this tonight, and so that's the plan. And after that, I'll kind of let it go from there.
Back here.
I feel like the receiving core without Malcolm is going to be the same. We're just going to have more young players step up and fill in big shoes. And I feel like my role is going to be the same. We're going to help the team do whatever we can.
Back here.
Sure. Well, those guys have played well, just like they played all year. Done a great job of tackling overall. We knew those guys were going to be able to throw and catch very, very well. Obviously, after Hackenberg kind of went down, the other guy came in, and he was throwing it. I think the two touchdown catches. They were probably as good as throwing catches that you're going to see. They were just right on the point. So, those guys, they just like I tell these guys, those guys are on scholarship too. Those guys get coached up very well too. Those guys are just as talented, as well. So, we understand that those guys are going to make plays, but as long as we can do everything that we can to kind of prevent that, and if you number those big plays, especially on a team like this, that gives you a better chance to win the game.
Bryan, Keith, I know was stopping the fourth down. We had a couple of big pickups during that possession.
Mhm.
You made it through. You only using Tim and Sonny throughout those games.
Sure.
Concern you have to kind of dip below that at some point in time?
Well, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. You got to be ready for kind of all of those situations. But, you know, really proud of those two guys being able to kind of shoulder the load versus a defense like this and kind of be as effective as they were. Just proud of those guys for doing that.
2 more questions.
Brian, you're going to be coaching this team. Do you have any thought, and who do you like in that game?
Well, I'll say this: just like any, and these guys know, just like any other week, who you know, where I'm working, they're going to get all I got. Yeah, they're going to get all I got to do the best I can and make sure that my guys are ready to play. So just like I did with these guys, all my effort and energy will be in those guys. And I'm pretty sure these guys are gonna get a coach that where it's gonna be the exact same thing. You know, it's hard to get a bad coach here at the University of Georgia. It really is. You know, so those guys have nothing to worry about in that regard. And just like I said, I mean, Georgia was here way before I was here, and it'll be here after I leave. So.
Apologies for this being asked already. What were the difficulties in preparing for this game, given the circumstances of the program?
It wasn't many. The biggest difficulties, in my opinion, you know, just kind of trying to oversee everything, was making sure that these, you know, guarding these guys' eyes and ears, so to speak, on what's being written out there. And so the receivers were kind of used to it all year long, because every meeting we start with some type of character ed where I kind of try to get the mind right, so to speak, for a few minutes. You know, whether I show them a short film or, you know, read a quote or, you know, read a short story or something to them. So I did that every day with the team. So we had a team meeting every single day, just focusing on why you work hard or why you work together or things like that. And those guys, they took to it. Those guys took to it and understood exactly why I was doing what I was doing. They understood, and I said this in the first meeting with those guys, that, you know, everybody in this room was there for them. So as long as the players were constantly the focus, then it made everything else really easy. It really did.
Last question in the back. Somebody have a right there.
Earlier in the week, your dad, coach, said, be true to yourself. After this first game, do you think you did that?
I did. I think I did. You know, he's referring to what my dad told me when I first got named the interim head coach here at Georgia. He said, you know, you got to that point just by being yourself. So don't try to be Mark Richt. Don't try to be any of these other successful coaches that are out there in college football. Just be Bryan, and just do the job that you know your way, you know, kind of what you think is right, because that's how you got to that point. And these guys can tell you that I was me. These guys can tell you out there practice, and you know, so, you know, kind of even I may have said the same message, but maybe not the exact same way Coach Rick would have said some things, you know, to the team. But I thought I did.
That's it. Congratulations, Georgia 2016 TaxSlayer Bowl champions.
Thank you.